From section 361 all the way down to the field at Busch Stadium, there's a capacity crowd gathering today. It's Lou Brock bobblehead day. It could also be sweep day for the Cardinals as they look for 7 in a row. Happy Father's Day. This is Jen and Drew's dad. I'm Katie and Allison's dad. Welcome to Busch Stadium. We're going to talk about Ken Griffey Jr., who's still looking for 500, Rick, and Matt Morris giving up 21 home runs. Does something have to give here today?
Well, something may give. The good thing that I like about Matt Morris is that he's 3-0 in June as we take a look at the numbers with Griffey and Matt Morris, 2 for 10 with a home run in his career. But that big number is 499. His dad is here hoping for a Father's Day present that he won't ever forget.
Matty's given up 21 home runs. So has Bartolo Colon in the American League. But the Cardinals are on a roll. Fans are excited. Beautiful day downtown. Lou Brock's in the house, the bobblehead guy.
Pujols into deep left field. Did he do it? Did he do it? Pujols does it. Home run for Albert.
Fans along the Cardinals network who enjoy watching Albert Pujols swat home runs and Matt Morris mow down the opposition will be treated to many different and unusual sounds at Busch Stadium this season. The sounds of stadium construction. You will, at times, deal with slight delays and inconveniences, but Vice President of Stadium Operations Joe Abernathy says a little common sense will go a long way to making your Cardinals experience this season enjoyable, especially where parking is concerned.
We're really blessed down here with the ballpark being in downtown because there's plenty of parking in and around the ballpark area.
In fact, there are 16,000 parking spaces within walking distance of the stadium. Only 1,300 of these spaces have been lost due to construction. Some of Joe's tips on parking: do your best to enter Busch Stadium from the north.
There's a lot of parking up around Keener Plaza that's available, and now from Keener Plaza it's a shorter walk to get into the ballpark than from down on Poplar or Surrey Street to the south.
Take advantage of the Metrolink whenever possible. You can park at Union Station, jump the Metrolink, doesn't cost you any money, boom, you're here in seconds.
Yeah, on day games I think they could definitely do that.
Out-of-towners should book downtown reservations early for better savings.
A lot of them have package deals for Cardinal baseball. It'll alleviate all that parking problem. Most of those hotels have parking associated with them. You can park your car for the hotel and just walk over to the game.
Hey, and if you're used to taking bus trips to the ballpark, don't worry.
Well, the buses, we have an arrangement for those who've worked through our group sales. We have a drop-off area off of Broadway, and then they'll park down off of Ceres Street, a couple blocks south of the stadium. And we got a drop-off area and a pickup area that they can leave the fans off here and pick them up in that same spot.
For updates on route changes that may occur due to construction, you have information at your fingertips.
The Cardinals website, so it's stlcardinals.com. They look for our access guide to Busch Stadium for 2004. And it'll help give them some of the street closures and some of the parking locations around the ballpark on that map.
Bottom line, if you get here early and if you use common sense, construction at Busch Stadium won't be a problem, as this turns into a beautiful new baseball cathedral. This Cardinal Stadium update was presented by the Jones Company, building homes since 1927. Happy Father's Day, Cards and Reds. First pitch coming up.
Dippin' Dots, kids on the field with the Cardinal players. You know what? It looks like Kids Day out here, not Father's Day. But we do have a lot of dads with their little guys passing this wonderful game on from one generation to the other. That's the way it's supposed to be. Happy Father's Day, all you dads out there. We got a Cardinal win for you, hopefully, today. Redbirds going for 7 straight. They've won 15 of their last 19, 18 of their last 22.
The Cardinals are hot, and Matt Morris is hot. He's winner of his last 3 starts. He's having a very nice June. This is his 15th start of the year. Today's Jeep pitching matchup features Jung Koon Bong, that's a mouthful, against Matt Morris. A lot easier to say, and let's see if Matt can have a much better day than Bong can. Matt is in his 15th start of the year, and he has been pitching well of late, and our starting pitching lineup has been brought to you by the local Jeep dealers, and we appreciate their support. And this guy right here, Dave Duncan, will appreciate the support of Matt Morris. His job is going to be to keep Matt on an even keel, Bob, because Matt has a tendency to get very emotional when he pitches. And sometimes that works to his advantage, and sometimes it does not. He'll keep a keen eye on Matt as we take a look at the Cincinnati Reds batting order.
Brought to you by Southwest. 2,800 nonstop flights, 60 destinations all across the country. Ryan Friel, good speed. Casey, Griffey, Dunn, pretty good middle of the lineup, and Jason LaRue is on a bit of a home run binge right now. Reds are batting .215. Only the Mets .252. Only the Mets at .247. Montreal at .239 lower. Cardinal defense brought to you by Steak and Shake. Real steak burgers, real milk milkshakes, 24 hours a day. Tony Womack up the middle with Edgar. Matheny and Edmonds up the middle as well. Even with a left-hander on the mound, Ray Langford gets another start. Tony likes the way he's swinging the bat. Ryan Friel steps in. First pitch a couple minutes late at 1:18 St. Louis time on a cloudy, cool afternoon. Beautiful right here at the ballpark. Ryan Friel batting .245. He's a 28-year-old second baseman who has been in the minor leagues for the better part of 9 years. A little cup of coffee with the Blue Jays in 01 9 ball games. They drafted him at 19 years of age back in '95. He's had a long road to the major leagues. The Reds signed him to a minor league contract. And up around section 366 or so, we've got our fan cam looking down from the upper deck today. 2-1 from Matt Morris. One hopper, rolling charges on target. That's how the ball game starts. And the Cardinal pitchers have been throwing some ground ball outs in this series.
Woody Williams was fantastic on that score here yesterday evening, and Matt Morris's key is really going to be to keep the ball in the ballpark. You mentioned the middle of this Reds order and the fact that Jason LaRue is also on a home run binge. Well, Matt's on a home run binge of his own. He's leading the National League in that department. Not the favorite statistic, but I think Matt is really trying to reestablish himself as the Cardinals' #1 starter. They need him to do that.
Griffey, cleanup man. We'll see him in the first inning if either D'Angelo Jimenez or Sean Casey can get aboard. Jimenez, the switch hitter, fouls one off to the left. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another one of these kind of journeyman players who's found his way to a decent situation in Cincinnati. Jimenez, 26 years of age, originally signed with the Yankees 10 years ago. Dan O'Brien's in the ballpark, their GM. He's done a pretty good job of putting this ball club together and staying within the budget. Matt Morris with a nasty breaking ball, maybe a cutter that catches the inside corner to the left-hander.
Well, this pitch has very nice late movement on it. As Matt comes inside, the ball just hits the inside corner. Jimenez doesn't believe it, but that's too close to take with 2 strikes.
Because of the change in plane of that pitch, you would think breaking ball, not cut fastball.
It had maybe about a 3-inch break to it, and you know, Matt's really experimenting with the cut fastball. It's not something he's thrown a lot in the past, so I'm not sure he can really control how much break it has. You know, typically they're just an inch or 2, but some guys have a little wider cut fastball than others.
Matt Morris tired of hearing about first inning scoring by the opposition. He's getting ready to mow the Reds down in a hurry here. But a couple of dangerous left-handers. Delayed call for a strike by Brian Runge. And that's 0-2, and Casey didn't like it at all.
Well, if you like pitchers who work quickly, you like Matt Morris. I still wonder sometimes if he just works too quickly. He almost looks, I mean, I'd be winded if I had to work that fast, but he likes to work quickly.
Jam job, flare to center. Edmonds there. 1, 2, 3. Griffey next inning. Cardinals are leading the league in hitting and runs now, as well as homers. The offense goes to work in a moment. Young man, 23 years old, from Seoul, South Korea, Jun Kun Bong, former Atlanta Brave. We remember him out of their bullpen last year or two. Second half of our Jeep pitching matchup. If it's not trail rated, it's not a Jeep 4x4.
Well, Bong had an awful lot of promise as a young signee out of Seoul, Korea. His first 2 years in the Atlanta organization were pretty good. Put up some very nice numbers. And they really viewed him as a star of the future, and perhaps he will come into his own here in Cincinnati. He's certainly given the opportunity by Dave Miley.
First career appearance against the Cardinals. The lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. 2,800 non-stops, 60 destinations all across this great land of ours. Renteria, number 2 hole today. Then Albert, Rowland, Edmonds, Sanders, Ray Lankford at 7. Mike Matheny back in there after a day off yesterday. Tony Womack's on a tear. 5-game hitting streak, averaging 2 hits a game. He's 10 for his last 23. Reds defense brought to you by Steak and Shake. Real steak burgers, real milk milkshakes, real good center fielder. 24 hours a day at Steak and Shake. Tony batting .306. He's batting .371 in June. And the 4-pitch pitcher Bong starts him off with a strike. 5th South Korean player to appear in the major leagues. The other 2 of the others are very well known, of course. One being Chan-Ho Park, longtime Dodger and Texas Ranger. Hee-Sop Choi, the young man who played for the Cubs, now with the Marlins. 2 other Boston players not as well known. 1 ball, 1 strike. 4 years ago, Sang-Hoon Lee, left-handed pitcher, appeared with the Red Sox. Jin-Ho Cho, year before that with the Red Sox. And of course, I only had half the list. There are 9, well, 8 now with Bong. And maybe the other best known one is Byung-Hyun Kim, the former closer for Arizona, who's now with the Red Sox.
I'm impressed with the way you pronounced all those names. That's the real key to me. You just cease, you never cease to amaze me, Bob Carpenter.
Thanks, Wiki. 1 and 2. Good job by Womack. Oh, he didn't think he went. Brian Runge he's really slow. He's becoming the Tim McClelland of called strikes. Very late, very delayed, and Womack is gone, as he did swing, says the umpire.
Good off-speed pitch from Bong. Had Tony out in front, and yeah, he went.
He did.
Bat broke the plane of home plate. Bong is basically a 4-pitch pitcher. He has a overhand curveball and a short slider, fastball, changeup. The typical 4 pitches, not overpowering as he starts Renteria out with a fastball away. That ball right there seemed pretty straight, but he does throw a 2-seam sinker and a 4-seam high fastball.
And they want him to go after hitters. He's got a tendency to nibble. It's back even. Edgar been swinging a pretty good bat now. His batting average is up to .280. Second 3-hit game of the week last night. And that's something he had only done once all year before this week. How to play right side. Big crowd, lots of red in the seats today. On Lou Brock bobblehead day, Lou Brock is in the park. Cardinal fans sang happy birthday to him before the game. Edgar 3 for 6 in this series. We've got an all-star roster in the ballpark today. Stan Musial is here. Bing Devine is here. Cardinal history takes a turn for the better whenever those gentlemen step into our ballpark on any day. 2-2 pitch to Renteria. He got jammed. That ball eats up Larson, but he stays with it. Larson was like a catcher. He was bent over the ball, Rick, so his body would deflect it straight down.
Great defensive form because he's got his chest over top of the ball and he's pushing the ball down. As we take a look at Bing Devine, he knows good baseball when he sees it.
I had the honor of signing my Bing Devine book today.
Yes, you did.
Next to Tom Wheatley, who wrote that book with Bing. A great look back into Cardinal history. Folks, it's at the team store here at the ballpark. Other great bookstores around the St. Louis area. And the bases are empty with 2 outs for Albert. I'm honored that my scorebook is next to Bing's book, but his has a better ending. And more of a plot.
Well, yours still has the problem of having the Jeff Suppan bad game as the example game in it. I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, I had Suppan of Boston giving up 4 bombs in Kansas City on opening day 2 years ago as my example for that book.
And then you gave him a nice free copy of it.
2-0 pitch for his mom. Albert locked in, isn't he? Even when he fouls the ball off, he's still out ahead of it. Nobody is throwing the ball by him right now.
You know, those seats down the left field line are not the safest of places with Albert the way he's swinging now, because he's pulling the ball a lot.
Okendo coaching where...
Look how deep he is.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. He's almost in left field.
That's where Rene Latchman used to coach for McGuire. Jose has to be about 120 feet from home plate. We can barely see him from fan cam upstairs.
If he's going to give Albert a sign, he's going to have to send up a signal flare from there.
Or else shout it. 3-1, Albert. Swing if it's good.
As if we're going to give him the bunt.
He didn't swing because it wasn't good. And Pujols takes the 2-out walk. He is so good at that. Great knowledge of the strike zone, which is something people always talk about with Barry Bonds and the walks he takes. The advantage for Pujols is he has Scott Rowland hitting behind him. Barry Bonds doesn't.
Well, the good hitters always have good knowledge of the strike zone. That's what really begs the question of what makes him a good hitter in the first place. I think back of guys like Keith Hernandez and Tony Gwynn and Joe Morgan, guys who absolutely knew the strike zone, just made them better hitters.
Rowland looks at one just off the plate. Scott batting .344. 4th in the league. Top 6 in homers. Tops in RBIs in all of baseball. Now he's 7 ahead of David Ortiz of Boston for the major league lead after his bomb here last night. His 3-run triple off the wall, helped by the twilight. And Bong whips it right by him.
One thing I have seen early on out of this young left-hander is a lot of straight fastballs. He seems like he's got a little zip on the ball, but a lot of the balls are straight without a lot of movement on it. And that usually is trouble.
Albert's been bugging Bong a little bit over there, dancing off of first, even though he had a very short lead and Bong still threw it over there low. Dave McKay looking at his stopwatch. This young man's only 23 years of age. He'll be 24 in mid-July. 1-1 pitch. They're going to jam him here. Didn't get it in quite far enough, but Rowland fouled it away.
Well, he's making his 3rd start since being put in the rotation here with the Reds. His last time out against Texas, he went 6 innings, gave up 4 runs, struck out 6 in that game, which was a career high for him. But the game before that, Oakland, got 9 hits and 9 runs off of him in just 3 innings.
1-2. Albert at first, 2 outs. Rowland identified the breaking ball, laid off. Another great crowd here. We had 48,641 last night. We'll come close to that today. And a 2-2. Cubs are hosting Oakland again. Barry Zito against Carlos Zambrano.
Ooh, that's
How
a good
about that pitching matchup?
Yeah.
Anaheim's at Houston again. Their best pitcher, Jared Washburn, who's 7-3, goes against 6-6 Wade Miller. Some games in the East underway. Phillies have jumped all over the Royals early. And a 2-2 to Rowland, the former Philly. He has worked the count full. Pitch count mounting in the first inning for Jun-Kun Bong.
Interesting, the different styles between him and Matt Morris already. It took 3 minutes for Matt Morris to go through the top of the first inning.
Yeah, this
quick.
This at bat has taken 3 minutes. Albert will be running. Rowland will strike out on a pitch fading away. 2 Ks in the first for Bong. Ken Griffey Jr., 499 career home runs. He will lead off top of the second in a scoreless game. Ken Griffey Jr.'s home run quest continues. We saw his father, Ken Sr., with the video camera last night. Wife Melissa is here. The kids are Trey, Taryn, and his adopted son, Tevin. Matt Morris gives up a fly ball to deep left center, but Edmonds is under it, and Griffey will be about 15 feet short of 500.
I suppose there's a chance that ball right there is out of Cincinnati as we take a look at the Griffey family. Let's see their reaction to that long fly ball.
Did you do it, Dad?
Come on, please. I want to go home.
Oh, that mean Mr. Edmonds caught the ball. And Matt Morris now deals with Adam Dunn. A left-hander with tons of power. Tied for second in the league with his 19 home runs. Tied with Albert Pujols. 2 behind the Phillies' Jim Thome. Good to see Mike Matheny back behind that plate. Mike told me this morning that the good thing about his time off was, even in the first few days after he pulled that oblique muscle, which is so critical to the movements of a catcher, he was able, with the help of the Cardinals training staff, to do some weightlifting and cardio exercises that did not involve that muscle or affect it in any way, which was really important instead of having to totally shut his body down for 5 or 6 days.
And that'll kill you too. You get out of shape in a hurry. Of course, they work month after month to get in tip-top shape, but you hate to be off completely. How about that breaking ball from Matt Morris?
That hitter wasn't guessing, was he?
I think he was looking for the express and he got the local.
Matt Morris looking good so far. McDonald's has an ultimate experience for you. All the proceeds go to the United Negro College Fund. Thursday, Cubs, tickets in Big Mac Land, great parking, special receptions. You get on the scoreboard, and you can call 802-2980. That's area code 314-802-2980, and tell them I want the McDonald's ultimate experience with the Cardinals and Cubs at Busch Stadium. Jason LaRue is the batter. Evidently from section 366 they can spy on us a little bit, Rick. Hi guys. Timmy Garcia, who runs our booth with an iron hand here, keeps all of the Rick Horton fans at bay. And a little reach out, a little flare to center. Edmonds, great jump. He caught that ball way before it ever got there because of his legs. We'll let him lead off, bottom of the second, no score. Rick Horton only threw his 4-seam fastball on 3-0 counts. So tell us the difference between that 4-seamer and the 2-seam sinker.
Okay, we talk about this all the time. Here's the 2-seam fastball. Right on those seams right there, fingers together. This is where guys throw the sinker right here. They get finger pressure, make the ball move. The 4-seam fastball is across this horseshoe, and the fingers are a little bit further apart, and when you throw it, there are 4 seams cutting into the wind, and that ball's going to stay up a little bit more, and it's going to be quicker. The 2-seam is going to be just 2 seams cutting into the wind, hence a 2-seam fastball. And you're right, I never threw a 4-seam fastball because that's straighter, and if I threw the ball straight, I would be rubbing up a new baseball very soon after that. Sometimes I threw a 4-seam fastball to a pitcher. If he wasn't a very good hitter.
Hoping you'd get one in return, maybe?
I'd need more than that.
Jim Edmonds leads off, bottom of the second.
Put it on a batting tee.
Edmonds having a good series, 3 for 7 so far with a home run. And who knows, if Jim Edmonds doesn't homer in the 6th inning last night when the Cardinals were down 2-0, maybe they don't stage the big comeback with 3 in the 7th and 5 in the 8th. Somebody has to get it started, Rick. And we might remember how Edmonds' night started last evening with a little bunt base hit, his first time up. And right now, Brandon Larson is playing back, but there are 2 strikes.
But against a left-hander, we may see that before the afternoon is over.
Whew. This kid's got a good breaking ball. He's had left-handers befuddled a bit. Struck out Womack on a check swing. And he goes 2-2 on Jim Edmonds.
Not sure where that pitch was. Looked like a strike to me. I think Jim Edmonds was ready to turn and walk back to the dugout, but he got a little bit of a reprieve.
Called strike on a fastball. 3 strikeouts for June Koon Bong now. Of the first 4 men, he's retired. It'll be Reggie Sanders now. Out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Southwest. 2,800 nonstop flights, 60 destinations all across the country. Reggie 0 for 4 in the series. Did not appear last night. Came up huge for the Cardinals in the last couple of games against Oakland. A's, by the way, did not score in the top of the first at Wrigley. Reggie goes up ripping. They are scoreless after 2 in Houston now, Anaheim and the Astros. Cardinals start the day 3 up on Chicago, 4 on the Reds, 4.5 Milwaukee, 6.5 up on Houston.
Have to keep an eye on that Chicago game, and certainly hate to be too much of a fan of somebody who's a Cub player, but I will tell you that Zambrano character to me is one of the most exciting players in baseball. I love to watch him pitch. I think he's got a chance to be something very, very special. And I'll tell you, if there's a game on the line and you've got to win one game, I'm not sure who I'd rather have pitch right now than Zambrano.
And a lot of people will tell you he's their 3rd best pitcher. I don't believe that, but I do believe he's 3rd when it comes to publicity and people knowing about him, overshadowed by Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor constantly.
Well, he's like a guy with a 10 handicap that says he's a 16 just so he can kind of sneak in the back door and then all of a sudden when the bets are on the line, he always walks away with the money. He's just sandbagging is all he's doing.
Two balls and 1 strike. I remember watching my first ever game in this ballpark from the upper deck way out in right field. They used to have teen nights on Friday when you could get cheap tickets. Bob Cuban and the In-Men used to play, and they'd put us way up there in right field, and it was pretty steep. But we didn't care. We were in the new ballpark.
You know if the Cardinals won that game, the first one you saw here?
I think they did. Jimenez in front of Adam Dunn, and a huge pop-up off the bat of Reggie Sanders caught.
My first big league game I ever saw was also the St. Louis Cardinals, although I grew up in New York and it was at Shea Stadium. It was a family rule that if we were going to go to a game, it had to be a Cardinal game because most of our family were Cardinal fans, even in New York, and there was a serious split in the family between Met fans and Cardinal fans. But the point still was that the only games we would see at Shea Stadium were guys like Gibson and Brock. Little did I know that someday I'd be having one of their bobbleheads.
Isn't that something? Or having followed them to the mound. Ray Lankford 3 out of 5 in the series. Cincinnati Reds are going to Shea Stadium after a day off tomorrow. I chuckled a bit when I was doing my research for the Wednesday night Cincinnati at New York game that I'll be up there for. On the Mets media guide, front cover, 40th anniversary, Shea Stadium. I'm not sure it's worthy of even being mentioned. What an awful place.
A lot of nice attitudes there too, let me tell you.
I have a feeling the St. Louis fans' approach to Ken Griffey Jr. has been a little bit different than what he will deal with.
Oh yeah.
If he's still looking for number 500 come that series Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in New York.
Appreciated Rich's interview with Ray King before the game where Ray said such a classy thing. I'll be rooting for him to get that home run in New York. So he's respecting Junior. He'd like to see him do it, but he'd like to see it on the replays at night as opposed to right here at Busch Stadium.
A lot of blue armbands on the field today. Blue logo behind home plate, ribbon. As on Father's Day, Major League Baseball, everybody teams up to fight prostate cancer. It's something all men, dads, need to be aware of once they get to middle age, and make sure they're tested regularly. And baseball wants you to be aware of that. And a 2-2. Langford high in the air. Right center. Is it deep enough? Griffey cruises and catches it. Sounded like a homer, but didn't quite make it. And the Cardinals are gone in the bottom of the second. Just like last night, no score early. Well, no fan has ever had a soft drink in Busch Stadium that was not involved with Coca-Cola. This is Joe Davenport, General Manager, Vice President of the Central States Division of Coca-Cola Enterprises. Reds are up top of the third. And Joe, welcome. You have a new product called Coca-Cola C2. As you can see, some of it's missing because I've already sampled the product. Half the carbs, half the calories, and you guys say all the great taste. And when you asked me how I liked it, I said it tastes like a Coke. Is that a compliment?
Absolutely it is. That was the objective. We created this product for consumers who are today drinking regular Coca-Cola and they want to cut back. You know, they've been using Coca-Cola kind of as a treat. So we cut the carbs, the sugar, and the calories in half, so now they can consume more.
Well, it tastes like a regular Coke. Cardinals and Coca-Cola have been involved for well over 40 years. Ever since this ballpark opened.
Absolutely.
So tell us why and how this all came about.
Well, we've been working on this actually for some time. We discovered that there are about 70 million Americans right now who meet this taste profile. They're drinking regular Coca-Cola and looking to cut back a little bit, as a lot of us are, being a little more health conscious. And we developed this product with a tri-blend of sweeteners. Still has sugar, but it also contains a little bit of aspartame, a little bit of sucralose, the Splenda type product.
I thought that when I tasted it.
Yep. Yeah. And a little bit of Ace K. So the three make it a nice blend and a great taste. But it's been fun for us the last week. We actually launched the product here in Busch Stadium.
Is that right?
This past Wednesday, during the Oakland game, Fred Bird came on the field. And he launched the product and sampled some of the fans during the game. We also sampled about 5,000 fans prior to the game that night. So it's been a lot of fun for us launching around this time frame.
1 ball and 1 strike to Brandon Larson after Willie Mopena bounced out to Scott Rowland. Visiting with Joe Davenport of Coca-Cola and their new product, Coca-Cola C2. 2-1 pitch from Matt. A breaking ball. Look out. The bat right back to the backstop. And strike 2. We've just had a request from the production truck. They'd like a case sent down ice cold immediately. I know Matt Gifford brought up the whole cooler and everything, but it's a great taste, Joe. And will it be available in stores now throughout the St. Louis area and where else around the Midwest?
It is. It is available now nationally across America, and here in St. Louis it should be in all of the outlets and the retail outlets. We had a great time Thursday night as well. The Olympic torch came through St. Louis.
Right.
Sampled about 20,000 people with C2 that night. And today here at Busch, there's a Cardinals Care event going on. It's called Jerseys Off Our Back.
Right.
And when fans purchase for a $1 chance to win prizes, including a jersey from a Cardinals player, they can get a chance to get a free Coca-Cola C2 when you buy any Coke product.
You know what I bought? I bought 10 chances. I got to give them to the kids behind us here so they can scratch them off. The hitter is the pitcher, Jun Kumbong. Hey, Joe, thanks for stopping by.
Oh, it was our pleasure.
Thanks for the product. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to sip on this the rest of the ballgame.
We'll leave a couple cold ones for you.
Thanks
Bob,
a lot.
thank you.
All right, Joe. Good to see you, buddy. And we appreciate all the sponsorship and all the great things Coca-Cola does in conjunction with our Cardinals. Coca-Cola C2. It's a great taste. Matt Morris heading for an easy inning. Maybe. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes as Matt tries to retire his 9th consecutive batter. That ball hit well foul. You know, this ought to be a big seller in Cincinnati. It's got the black-red motif going.
About halfway through mine already.
Yeah, it really is very good. We usually sip bottled water during our shows up here, but you know, a little exception today.
This is a health-conscious Father's Day telecast we have here, with our prostate cancer reminder, as well as our low-sugar C2 from Coke.
I like the health Matt Morris has on that fastball right now. 9 men in a row, 4 of them on strikes. He'll bat second after Matheny.
Third we go. Well-pitched game at Busch Stadium. Happy Father's Day, and Lou Brock, happy birthday. How about the crowd singing to you today?
Well, that was incredible. In fact, my birthday was a couple of days ago, and in as much as I had to throw out a pitch at another ballpark, but this was exciting today.
Now, you can tell the fans never forget the Hall of Famers, because today is Lou Brock Bobblehead Day. I got to the park at 11 o'clock. People were lined up all the way around it, Lou.
Well, I think it's not for the bobbleheads dog day, but it's just Cardinals are playing good baseball.
Oh, no.
And hopefully that if we throw all this together, it just come out to be one good Father's Day, a happy Father's Day today. And by the way, happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you, my friend. So many great memories here for you, for Cardinals fans. What really stands out? Give us your best memory.
Well, I don't know. You know, the World Series here and all of the playoffs, and naturally have to go to the playoff that I was in, and certainly looking at the ballpark here, I just go back to the 67, 68 World Series.
That was just a guess. I mean, I was a kid in California. I'm skipping school to watch those games.
Well, that's when World Series played during the day, and therefore you could do that. Nowadays, you have to make sure your father know that you're in your room to watch the World Series on television.
Who are all these guys behind us? Who do we have here in your box, Lou?
Oh, these are my buddies. These are kids from the church, and they are all here representing Father's Day. They're a little group of men that we are training up to become men, and so we actually start them out about 6 years old, and so what you're looking at is some of the kids who are involved in the program.
Carp, I don't know about you, but when I'm a kid and I'm playing wiffle ball, I'm always Lou Brock, and when I pitched, I was Bob Gibson. Back to you guys.
Well, everybody in my neighborhood had Lou Brock's batting stance memorized. We couldn't run like that. But Lou was an amazing power hitter as well. That home run he hit in Detroit in '68, one of the longest home runs at Tiger Stadium. Mike Matheny, deep short, off the glove of Jimenez. That'll be an interesting decision by the scorer. The ball was hit shortly. Jimenez got there, didn't glove it. Well, I guess the decision's been made. There's already a base hit on the board.
And a lot of controversy about the scoring that's going on here, as that ball is certainly playable by Jimenez, and usually if you've got to go a long way to catch it deep in a hole like that, they're going to give the hitter the benefit of the doubt because it's going to be a long throw. Although with Mike Matheny running, certainly Jimenez has a play on him, but I think they scored that right. I think that's a base hit.
And while you're at the concession stands, the Cardinals have TVs all over Busch Stadium. You don't miss a second of the action when you're waiting for the goods. Matt Morris squaring to bunt, maybe not, maybe so. He gave us a couple of different looks there. 1-4, sacrifice perfect. Matt Morris with his 7th sacrifice bunt of the year, by far tops on the Cardinals staff. Don Bell, Andy Van Slyke, for a complete analysis of today's game, the Pizza Hut postgame show, right after the game on WB11. And if Andy's listening, I want him to know that Ken Griffey Jr. has been enthralled by his post-game analysis during this series. He said, I'm all over Van Slyke after your telecast on Channel 11. So Griffey was watching yesterday.
There's no doubt that Griffey, watching Van Slyke play, was probably all over how good a center fielder he was, too. You know, obviously I'm biased because of the years I played with Andy, but I'm not sure I saw anybody play center field in that era as well as he did.
Strike to Tony Womack, who was a swinging strikeout victim on a check swing first time up. First time a runner makes it to second base in this game.
By the way, did you say Lou Brock was a power hitter? Don't tell him that to his face. That'll go to his head.
He could mash. Cardinal baseball on KPLR TV St. Louis, WB11, flagship station of our Cardinal television network. You know, Lou made some interesting comments because the Dodgers had won it all the year before in '63 with Maury Wills. Cardinals got Lou Brock from the Cubs in the Ernie Berlioz deal middle of June. And Johnny Keane told Lou Brock, you're going to be our base runner, our base stealer, because we need somebody like Maury Wills on this ball club. Lou had not really used his speed up to that point, and they had a meeting, and Johnny Keane said, you're it. And that day, Lou Brock became the great base stealer he would become.
And he certainly fit into that mold for years after that, and really probably set the bar as high as it could be as to what a base stealer was. It's funny to hear him and Gibson talk about who had more power, though.
And of course, who pulled off that trade? Mr. Bing Devine. Bing went to Johnny Keane and said, we've got a chance to get Brock from Chicago. And Johnny Keane said to Bing, what in the heck are you waiting for? Bing said that's all he needed to hear to do that deal, because Ernie Berlioz had been a very good pitcher for the Cardinals. 2-2 pitch. Ernie Berlioz was at the Cardinals winter warm-up this year. Anything more beautiful than watching Mr. Brock steal a base? He's not coming in hands. Well, he did go in hands first. How about that? Normally, Lou didn't do that. That must have been in the '67 series against the Red Sox. Very few times did he steal a base like that. I was waiting for those spikes to come flashing
he usually
in.
went up high with the spikes. Pretty old school with the way he played. He played the game hard. And he's such a great ambassador for this game. Just to see him up there with those kids talking about what he's trying to do with those young people to try to help them understand what it means to be a man. I would say he is certainly very well qualified.
His beloved Jackie in the first row there. Great lady. Womack bumps it up the middle. High throw. Barely staying on the bag, Sean Casey, according to the umpire, Bill Hahn.
Well, this is a close play at first, as it's a high throw from Jimenez, and Casey tries to keep his toe on the base. He comes up and back down, and I believe that Bill Hahn missed that one.
Tie goes to the runner normally.
I gotta say, you are safe. Casey was trying to keep his toe on the base. It's the interesting thing for a first baseman. When you jump in the air, you're going to jump and keep going up, and then you have to come down. Mike Jorgensen used to say you always should jump and then actually catch the ball on the way down, so your foot will touch the base quicker, which I always thought was impossible, but Jorgie said he could do it.
Boy, that's a big call. Almost a two-out bunt for a hit.
Now let's take a look at this one more time. There is a freeze frame, and it's hard for me to tell whether or not Casey has his foot on the base. Looks like it's not on the base to me.
Well, his front of his foot.
But Bill Hahn's got a better view than I had.
Yeah, his front foot and the heel of Womack. That's a huge call, because instead of first and third, one out, it's runner at third, two down. Plus, you've got Renteria here. Pujols next, possibly. And the 0-1. Edgar hits it in the air. Little pop-up to left. And D'Angelo Jimenez makes the call. Cardinals gone after the leadoff hit. We've played 3 on a cloudy Father's Day at Busch Stadium. Matt Morris has been perfect. No score. This portion of Cardinal baseball on WB11 brought to you by Hyundai. When your car comes with America's best warranty, you win. By the President Casino, better than ever. And by Hardee's, it's how the last place you'd go for a burger is becoming the first. Hey, Rick, what'd you get for Father's Day?
I got to play golf with my son, Drew. He doesn't like to play golf, but my present was that he went out and played 18 holes with me and had a conversation. And I understand you got the same gift.
I got to play golf with my daughter, Katie, on Friday.
And that was that a Father's Day thing, or is that just a...
Yeah, just kind of a thing to do, and it turned into a Father's Day thing. My big present was a tree pruner.
All right. I got some trees in my backyard now that you're well equipped.
Yeah.
And I got some.
$30 an hour. I'm there.
Oh, man, you're expensive. I got some boxes at home I haven't opened yet, too. I'm not sure what's in there.
Okay.
I can't wait to see them.
1 ball, 1 strike to Ryan Friel. I have to go to Houston tonight, so we had Father's Day early. Going to check out those battling Buccos and the Astros tomorrow night. How far ahead of those teams will the Cardinals be by then? Bouncer, tough play rolling. Behind the bag. The throw well offline. Fortunately, it hits the rail in front of the Cardinal dugout and stays in play instead of giving the runner second base. That's got to be a base hit. And the first one given up by Matt Morris.
Well, Scott Rowland goes deep down the line, has to throw so far off balance. He's got no real clear way to throw the ball on line to first base. He made a great effort on that. No way you're going to get the speedy Ryan Friel, who does have 10 stolen bases in 14 attempts on the year. But he gave it an effort anyway, and as you say, the ball caromed off the front of the Cardinal dugout. If it goes in the dugout, it's an error, and Friel is on second.
When this ballpark was first built back in the 60s, there were no rails on the top step of the dugouts. None. So any errant throw would go right in there, extra base for the runner.
Don't I know that well? I remember Barry Lyons running into our dugout and sitting right next to John Tudor.
You were next to him?
I was sitting right next to John Tudor. He came barreling into the dugout and actually broke John's leg.
That was awful.
Just pinning his leg against the bench.
Yeah, with his catcher's gear on too. That ballpark has undergone some changes since then. Dimensions cozier, better for the fans. Jimenez called on strikes his first time up. Runner goes. Good jump and a base hit on the hit and run to right field. Friel turned around and looked over his shoulder when he got to second, knew he could scoot to third, and the Reds have a corner situation now with their big boppers coming up. Unlucky for Matt Morris. He throws a couple of little ground balls, but they both found very good spots.
Well, Tony Womack was actually starting to cover second base, and Jimenez was smart enough, as Friel's not picking up the coach looking over his shoulder. You need to pick up your coach there. But Jimenez does his job of finding which infielders covering the base and hitting the ball there.
Now things get tough. Left-hander Casey. Some of the happiest feet in baseball when he gets into that batter's box. Rocking back and forth, lifting that front foot as he goes through his pre-pitch prep. And Matheny slides to his right to grab a tough breaking ball.
The Cardinals have certainly missed Mike Matheny's ability to block pitches behind the plate. We've talked about all the great tool sets that Yadier Molina has defensively, but he just does not quite block the ball the same way that Mike does.
I wonder if Sean Casey's a good dancer. Matty misses off the plate again, 2-0. 50 RBIs for Casey, 5th best in the league. He's the best average hitter in the league at 362, and he leads the National League in hits with 94. 3 more than Jack Wilson, the former Cardinal farmhand, who's having a great year at shortstop for the Pirates. Cardinals looking for a double play ball. They're not going to play the infield in early in the game. Oh, great jam job there. That ball couldn't have hit too far from his hands.
That probably was no more than 3 or 4 inches off his hands, and that hurts a little bit when you get jammed. That was that cut fastball from Matt Morris that he's working on, trying to get the ball on the inside part of the plate, trying to get a pop-up in the infield right here. He'd like a double play, but I think he'd really like to get a pop-up so the runners won't advance.
Happy 67th birthday to Betty Garrison. All the families here at the ball game, 35 family members. They've been doing it for 21 years in a row. And a happy Father's Day from that group to Everett. It's a great family day at the ballpark. Cardinals looking for the sweep, but that's in a bit of jeopardy right now here in the top of the 4th inning. Backdoor breaking ball just stays out there. 3-2.
Well, Matty went in, then tried to sneak one in the back door with the overhand curveball. I think when Matt's changeup develops into the kind of pitch that is really a top-notch pitch, he's using one, but he doesn't have a great changeup yet. That kind of situation will be a wonderful place to use it. 2-2.
Bases loaded, nobody out for Ken Griffey Jr. What's on tap brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. Cubs come in for the opener of a 3-game series on Tuesday. Greg Maddux, Jason Marquis. Right now it's Ken Griffey Jr. Bases loaded, nobody out. Scoreless ball game, top of the 4th. Griffey almost had Matt Morris measured first time up. Hit a deep fly ball to left center that Edmonds tracked on the warning track. Griffey has hit 11 grand slams in his career coming into this season. And Morris, staying inside on the left-handers, misses well off the plate.
We talked about how important it is to get the first and second hitter out in this red lineup. Otherwise, you've got to face a Casey, a Griffey, and a Dunn with guys on.
High fly ball, right center. Edmonds under this one. Solid contact, way under it. Edmonds throws to third to freeze the runners. On a great throw, Ryan Friel scores. Griffey gets another RBI in this series, his 53rd. Reds lead 1-0.
Well, I think the Cardinals will take the 1 run and 1 out as Jim Edmonds gets behind the ball like you're supposed to, gets his body moving towards the base he's throwing to, which is third base, and as usual, a one-hopper right on the money to third base. Great throw from Jim Edmonds.
Yeah, Cardinals wish Jimenez would have tried it. First and second, now 1 out. Adam Dunn, the batter, double play ball, gets the Cardinals out of the inning, but this isn't exactly a ground ball hitter. Cardinals have a bit of a shift on here.
He is one of the hardest guys in the National League to double up, but it's not because he's fast.
Right.
It's because he strikes out so much.
And if he doesn't, he's probably hitting the ball in the air somewhere. Adam Dunn has grounded into 1 double play this year in 225 at-bats.
Puts him in the top 5 in the league, I know. And usually you think about guys with great speed that have that distinction.
Cubs got 3 in the first against Barry Zito. Oakland has just scored against Carlos Zambrano in the top of the second, so it's 3-1 Cubs early in Chicago. No score after 3 in Houston. Angels Astros. Reds have taken the lead here. This one well hit in front of Langford, who bobbles it, and home is Jimenez. That ball was in the air for a little while, and Ray Langford chose not to challenge it.
I think Ray
might have been a catchable ball.
Wasn't sure whether that's something he wanted to get on one hop or try to make a shoestring catch on, and he doesn't get a great jump coming in. He takes it 1 step and then stops. He would have probably had to dive for that ball, but you see the difference between what happens when an outfielder catches the ball going backwards instead of going forwards. He can't get enough on the throw home. No chance of getting Jimenez, who scores from second base. That's the difference between Jim Edmonds being able to get behind the ball and get his body moving towards the base, where he can get a strong throw.
That ball was really stung in Ray's defense. Adam Dunn really hit it hard. 2-0 Reds. For Dunn, his 43rd RBI. Breaks a 1-for-14 he was mired in. And look out here, because Jason LaRue, who doesn't have awesome power, has really been hitting the ball out of the park lately. He rams this one to left center. He's homered again. Jason LaRue, 6 home runs in his last 12 games now, and the Reds lead 5-0, and the home run ball hurts Matt Morris again.
Well, that is home run number 22 that Matt has given up on the season. Jason LaRue homering for the 2nd day in a row. And when Matt Morris has a rough inning, he has a rough inning. That's a fastball right down the middle of the plate. And LaRue has his weight back and hits the ball in the sweet spot of the bat, and it was out in a hurry. The outfielders knew they had no chance. 3 more RBIs for Jason LaRue, and he's becoming a thorn in the side of the Redbirds.
40,000 plus, very quiet suddenly, still only 1 out in the inning. And the thing that kills Matt Morris in this inning, the scratch infield hit to start, the little bouncer by Jimenez that got through on the hit and run, and the walk to Casey.
Well, you knew he was being careful with Casey, but what ends up happening is you still end up having another base runner that you've got to contend with. And the Griffey sacrifice fly looked like maybe Matt would have a chance of getting out of this without it being a big inning, but Adam Dunn and Jason LaRue come through. And Matt Morris, you know, that's the thing about him working so quickly, is he just keeps working, even when things aren't going well.
Roland throws out Pena for the 2nd time today. 8th red to bat in the inning will be Brandon Larson. So the Reds have hit their 81st homer of the year. We mentioned last night they don't hit for high average. 252. Only the Mets and the Expos lower in the league. But they're 5th in runs and 5th in home runs. So they can mash. They just don't string a whole lot of hits together normally like they have in this inning. 4 hits for their 5 runs. Matt Morris had faced 9 men, retired them all coming into this inning. 4 strikeouts, a couple of grounders, 3 fly balls. Maybe today requires an earlier comeback than what we've seen the last 3 nights. Cardinals waited till the 7th inning last night. They do have Pujols, Roland, and Edmonds coming up bottom of the 4th, and you get a couple of runs there, you're right back in it.
Oh, they're certainly capable of it. And you can't lose on Father's Day, Lou Brock birthday, bobblehead day, shirts off your back, father-kid game, prostate cancer awareness day. You got to win those games.
LaRue bombs 1 for 3, and the Reds put 5 on the board in the top of the 4th. Big hitters coming up for the Cardinals. Cardinals, it may say they're tied with the Dodgers. The Cardinals are a couple thousands of percentage points ahead of LA, but when you round it off, they're at 277. The league hitting 262. And our leaderboard brought to you by First Bank. Faster, friendlier, not for sale. 91 local offices since 1910. Member FDIC.
Dodgers are number 2 in batting average, but the Reds have scored 39 more runs than the Dodgers have.
Interesting.
And it is the kind of team that we've seen here today. No left on base yet for the Reds because they just are very tidy. They don't leave any of their mess out on the base pass. They hit with runners in scoring position, and that's what they've been doing today.
Pujols hit the ball hard, but Casey, good scouting by the Reds. He was playing about 20 feet, maybe 25 feet off the line. That's how the bottom of the 4th gets underway. Roland and Edmonds next. A lady by the name of Nancy dropped a note off of the booth. She's got some family watching out in Orange County, California today. Tina and Keith evidently catching Cardinal baseball and the network on satellite out there. Cardinal fans all over this country of ours. We found that out in Texas again last weekend, and I'm sure we'll find it out in Kansas City next weekend.
David Fuller is watching us today. He is turning 8. He lives in Fisk, Missouri.
Roland hits one out to right center, heading for the bleachers, and one hopping right into the seats. Cardinals have their 3rd base runner of the day, 2nd hit. We'll see if Edmonds and Sanders can get some RBI stuff going.
That's a fastball down and in that Roland takes the other way. You have to really think hard of any balls that the Cardinals have actually hit hard so far this afternoon. We have a base hit by Matheny that was just a ground ball in the hole, and Ray Langford probably hit the other hardest ball. Fly out to center in the 2nd inning. Cardinal bats are quiet so far.
That one made a little noise. We'll see what Edmonds has. Called out looking first time, and Bong starts him with that nasty sweeping breaking ball that left-handed batters absolutely hate. I mean, that thing has to start out at least at your body and maybe in some cases behind you before it becomes a strike. Now they're going to jam him. Why does the lefty-lefty breaking ball thing look so much bigger than the right-hander breaking ball thing?
It's a great question. I think left-handers just don't see as many left-handers. You know, there's some right-handers that don't like left-handers breaking balls. I think of George Hendrick as an example of somebody hated to hit off a left-hander.
Really?
And his philosophy was, we just don't see him as much. There's just more right-handed pitchers.
And Bong, after that great breaking ball, misses with 2 heaters inside.
When you were
to Edmonds.
When you were growing up pretending you were Lou Brock batting right-handed, you were probably hitting off somebody who was right-handed.
Right.
And when they finally learned how to throw a curveball when they were 11, 12, 13, too early to throw it, but they probably were throwing it anyway, they were all right-handers.
Right.
So you just learn to see that ball coming in at that angle, but lefties don't get as much of an opportunity to see it.
Was that a swing? It was, says Mark Carlson. Edmonds trying to get out of the way. His bat did come forward before he could whip it back.
Jim does not look comfortable at all against Bong, either on his fastball, which he keeps pounding him in, or on that breaking ball. Just seems like Jimmy may be guessing and guessing incorrectly on every pitch. He looks very uncomfortable.
Three and two.
You know, you look at Jim's year, Bob, and I don't know what the multiplier would be after 69 games to figure out what his year would be like with his stats, but it's probably going to be about 40 home runs and 100 RBIs is what he's on pace for, and that is amazing considering we've been thinking that Jim is not really having a good year.
Hitting .302 against lefties coming into this game today. Now this guy's looking nasty. 1 on, 1 out. Cards down by 5. Crowd wants a rally. Edmonds gets jammed and pops it up to left center. Jimenez is out. Sun has come out now, peeking in between the clouds, and that's the 2nd out.
I guess my point about Jim is it seems like he's not having a good year, but maybe the bar is just a little bit high on Jim because he's making contributions. We talked about how well he swung the bat yesterday. He is a little bit of a streaky hitter, but those numbers wouldn't be too bad. 40 home runs, 100 RBIs. I think we'd take those.
It's up to Reggie now with 2 outs. 0 for 5 in the series. Cardinals and the Reds had some great battles last year. Cincinnati won the season series 9-7. Cardinals took 5 of the 9 here. That first series of the year at Great American Ballpark was a nightmare for the Cardinals with late inning heroics by the Reds. Cards have grabbed the first 2 here, looking for the sweep today, but that's a long road back right now.
Cardinals have a streak of their own with 6 straight wins, but the Reds with 9 straight road losses.
And their bullpen stats are brutal.
There's a monkey on their back for sure.
Reggie lays off that nasty breaking ball. Out of town scores brought to you by your quality local Ford dealers on both sides of the river. Quite a pitching matchup with Washburn and Miller in Houston right now. There you see the Cubs got their 3 in the first. Will they be 2, 3, or 4 back when they come to town Tuesday? That's a good pitch for Reggie to lay off. Lou Brock and the man who traded for him in 1964, almost to the day. It was June 14th when the deal was actually made.
You're talking about Ernie Broglio being together with Lou at the winter warm-up. What a classy guy he is. He takes a lot of kidding about that. And you're right, he was an excellent pitcher. Injuries hurt him.
I had a chance to ride to the airport with Ernie the morning after. He is such a delightful man. There's the old redhead. Boy, Tom Wheatley hanging out in some tall cotton today.
He is. I watched a game with Lou Brock and Red Shane Deans and Bing Devine.
Another legend, Marty Hendon. 3 balls and 1 strike to Reggie. Off the end of the bat, out of play. The other Hummel, Tim Hummel, infielder on the Reds bench today. And there's Rick. Still the best known Hummel in the ballpark. Three-2 to Reggie. Good at bat. 2 on, 2 out. Langford next. Second walk of the day by June Kuhn Bong.
I think we should have a Rick Hummel bobblehead day and call that the Hummel figurine.
He'll have to be holding a laptop.
He does know this game of baseball. There's no doubt about that.
I asked Rick, I said, is Tim Hummel the first ever Hummel in the major leagues? He said no.
Oh, I'm sure
there was one back way back in the National League. There's a lot of baseball brains in that shot. Here's Ray, flied to center first time up. Big spot for him here against the left-hander. And that big first pitch sweeping curveball.
I happened to look up on the baseball registry and find out that there was a Horton that played from New York in the late 1890s, and his name was Elmer Herky Jerky Horton.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh boy. He was 0-6 lifetime.
Ray hits it fair. Casey bobbles. Plenty of time to make the play. Cardinals are gone. I'm Bob Carpenter with Herky Jerky Horton. We're back for the top of the 5th in just a moment. Kick up your shoes. It's a great day for baseball. Your local Chrysler dealers bring you the division standings. Cubs 3 back. These Reds 4.
Brewers not going away, are they?
No, they're not. Boy, that trade for Richie Sexson, bringing them 6 frontline players, has really benefited that ball club. What a job by Doug Melvin. His assistant, by the way, up in Milwaukee is Gord Ash, the longtime Pat Gillick assistant who became the GM in Toronto. And Gord Ash is a very good friend of our own Walt Jocketty. Great baseball men. Top of the 5th, June Kuhn Bong, the batter, struck out swinging first time up.
The Milwaukee team is 5th in the National League in pitching. Certainly they have Ben Sheets, but they've got some other guys as Matt Morris strikes out yet another batter looking.
Ryan Friel as we go back to the top of the Cincinnati batting order. Ryan Friel 1 for 2. His infield hit got that 5-run 4th inning underway. And a breaking ball low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hey, Rich, they're giving away from some shirts today, huh?
Yeah, isn't that pretty cool? As we scan the crowd and see some of the folks, you'll see men and women in these nice greenish blue shirts. And Rhonda, what are you doing here with that?
We're selling tickets for Cardinals Kids Care Today we're trying to give away jerseys off the players' backs.
Cool. The tickets are raising money for what?
For Cardinals Kids Care.
And tell us a little bit about the organization and what they're doing.
Well, they help the kids at Cardinal Glennon. This time it's for the Cardinals rookies. They're going to be helping the kids play baseball and things in the neighborhoods that don't have that kind of community stuff.
Perfect, Rhonda. Go get them, huh? Sell a bunch of tickets.
Trying, thank you.
All right, guys. I may send Rhonda up to see you.
Well, I've already bought mine and given them away. And as one of the sellers told me this morning, you know, broadcasters can buy tickets too. And I did.
They got you with that one, huh?
They got me. D'Angelo Jimenez is next. Great bunt. Good speed. Ryan Friel. He's a running threat even in a 5-0 game. Jimenez with that hit and run single really set up that 5-run inning for the Reds last time around.
You bet he's a running threat. Ryan Friel has 10 stolen bases, and the Reds are pretty well convinced that the Cardinals are not out of any game after what they've seen the last few days. So 5 runs is not enough. This game's not over.
Just missing away. Rick Kennedy sent us a nice note, sending get well wishes to Joan Kennedy, a longtime Cardinal fan at home recuperating from surgery. Our very best goes out to her. Ruth Ann and Beth sent us a nice note wishing us and all the dads out there a very happy Father's Day. We appreciate that. Runner going, pitch low, throw low, late into center field, but Friel can't get up. Tony Womack tried to back that play up, but sometimes it's hard for the second baseman to get there as well.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a second baseman pretend he caught the ball, catch the ball so well as he's backing up, as Renteria can't come up with the ball. And he's trying to deke that he's still got the ball. He's trying to let him know, hey, I got the ball, I got the ball. Womack's doing the same thing, and he doesn't have it either. They rolled all the way out to Jim Edmonds, but the key is to try to keep him from advancing to third.
And a little fly ball to left. Ray is there. Second out of the inning. Sean Casey next. Shane Company Cooler Bag Day, Friday, July 2nd. Start of the holiday weekend. The Mariners will be here for Interleague. And the first 25,000 fans with a paid admission will receive a Cardinal 6-can cooler bag, courtesy of our friends at the Shane Company, longtime Cardinal sponsors. You can call the Cardinal Charge line for ticket info at 421-2400 to go to stlcardinals.com. To fill you in on some ticket information for upcoming Cardinal ball games. And today, being a Sunday home game, we'll be featuring our Cardinal Glennon All-Star. 9-year-old Joshua Nelson from Granite City is here with a whole bunch of his family, making a lot of noise and having a real good time right behind us.
There are some tickets for the Thursday Cubs game. We're going to have to let everybody know about that.
There are.
1,500 Upper Terrace Reserve tickets are available for the Thursday, June 24th game.
What a good comeback in the inning by Matt Morris. He got Casey on a changeup. The 1-out hit and the stolen base don't hurt. Griffey will lead off the 6th. Bottom of the order for the Cards. Down 5. Pretty neat stuff there, Joshua. Welcome, buddy. You're an all-star.
Thanks.
What's it like to watch yourself on TV?
I don't know.
We're going to get some runs here?
Yeah.
You know, every time we have one of our all-stars join us, the Cardinals seem to score. Joshua Nelson, 9 years of age, from Granite City. His mom, Carolyn, back here. Good to see you, Mom.
Nice to meet you.
You guys have had a fun day up there.
Yeah, it's been great.
But it hasn't always been fun for you and your family. Your emotions as you watch that and think about what you and your little guy went through here with all those kidney problems.
Yeah, it stirs it up all over again.
And I'm actually 8, by the way.
You're 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, we just thought you were smart enough to be 9.
Close.
All right, we're close. No balls and 1 strike. Mike Matheny, the Cardinal batter, bottom of the 5th inning. Matt Morris is in the on-deck circle, so evidently staying in the ball game for now, down by 5. Carolyn, what would you tell us about the folks at Cardinal Glennon and how they helped you through that whole situation?
Oh gosh, they've been wonderful to us. They've really been supportive of both me and Josh and our whole family. The doctors and nurses are just absolutely wonderful there. They just support us all the way.
0-2 to Mike, and it's off the plate inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, Joshua, are you a baseball player?
I was.
Who's your favorite Cardinal?
Albert Pujols.
Every kid up here this year has said Albert. That's all right. Good choice. He's a good man. He loves kids. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the catcher Matheny, and a big breaking ball strikes him out. 4th strikeout of the day. We're visiting with Joshua Nelson from Granite City, our Cardinal Glennon All-Star today. So tell me what you can do now. I mean, are you able to go out and play and do all the things you want to do now?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do when you go outside?
Play with my friends Marissa and Max up there.
Yeah. They live in your neighborhood?
Max doesn't, but Marissa's my next door neighbor.
Very nice. What do you guys play when you go outside?
What?
What do you play when you go outside?
All kinds of stuff. We swim, we play tag, everything.
So you're able to do pretty much whatever you want to do thanks to Cardinal Glennon, right?
Yep.
All right. 2 balls and no strikes. June Kuhn Bong. The Cincinnati pitcher wouldn't walk Matt Morris here, would he? 2 balls and no strikes.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit out of play there.
Yeah.
See, Joshua, you haven't watched as many games up here as Rick Horton does. He knows a foul ball when he sees one. But that's okay. We like your excitement. We like the way you're rooting for the Cardinals. Is this your first time at the ballpark this year?
Yep. This year, yeah.
You got a pretty good seat, you know.
Oh, yeah.
There's your buddies up there.
Yep.
Matt with a ground ball to the right side, taking funny hops, dropped by Frio, and he still gets Matt Morris at first. And then a few Cardinal fans maybe think Matt wasn't running hard enough there. And the bases are empty with 2 outs. We go to the top of the order for Tony Womack. Well, Carolyn, we appreciate you and Joshua coming up here. We know it's been a very difficult time for your family, but now when you look back, how have you guys grown through this whole thing, and this closeness the 2 of you will have forever, because even more so, part of you is now part of him.
That's right. It really is. And we are a close team, actually. But, you know, like I said, the support from Cardinal Glennon has really been great. And, you know, we're just so happy that everything's going as well as it is.
Mom's an all-star, too.
Well, thank you.
Good to see you, Carolyn.
Good to see you. Thank you very much.
Joshua, all the best to you. God bless you, buddy.
Thanks.
All right.
See ya.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Okay.
All right.
Am I coming back on?
I think we're done. Good job, buddy. I told Joshua, I said, you know, no yes or no answers. You got to be chatty, and he certainly did that. 2-1 pitch to Tony Womack, and he fouls it off to the left. Our Cardinal Glennon All-Star today, Joshua Nelson from Granite City, his mom Carolyn, who donated one of her kidneys for her son. Both are doing great, and another example of the miracles being performed every day because of the unbelievable people at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Tony looks at a strike, and the Cardinals are gone in the 5th. 1, 2, 3. Bong, bong, bong. He's taking care of the Cardinals. It'll be Griffey leading off. Top 6 coming right up. By your St. Louis area Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. By your St. Louis area Toyota dealers, and by Harrah's. Get to Harrah's Voodoo Cafe and Lounge for the best in sports and viewing. Top 6, Ken Griffey Jr. 2 fly balls to center, 1 for a sac fly. 53rd RBI of the year, Matt Morris to him.
Juniors look pretty comfortable in the batter's box today. 2 very good swings at Matt Morris.
Inside target. Matty got the pitch up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals in an infield shift, not as big as it is against other lefties. Renteria shaded up the middle, rolling well off the line. Straight away they are in the outfield. Low and inside, 2-1.
Take another look at that pitch up and into Griffey. He sees it. Ooh, and he gets out of the way just in time. Wow.
His eyes got big, didn't they?
I think he had time to read Rawlings' signature on that ball.
There it goes. Right field. This ball is history. 500 for Griffey. And the great baseball fans of St. Louis celebrate along with Ken Griffey Jr. and his family, teammates, and the city of Cincinnati.
What a spectacular feat for a spectacular player. Enjoying it with his teammates. Swung the bat very well all day today. And finally hits home run number 500. And how about that hug on Father's Day? What a special moment for the Griffey family.
The whole family's here. Trey, age 10, Taryn, age 8, their adopted son Tevin, who's 2 years old, wife Melissa, and a St. Louis congrats for a future Hall of Famer. And the relief he has to be feeling now.
Well, this pitcher here belongs to the ages. It's a fastball middle in, and Junior knew he hit it, and the weight is off the shoulders. A little skip, and a lot of excitement from that man, Ken Griffey Sr.
I think Dad had it figured out before the grandkids did. 500 home runs. And 6-0 Reds.
And we talked yesterday, he's still 34 years old. If he can continue this comeback and play for another 4 or 5 years and hit some home runs at a nice clip, he's got a chance of getting up there with the big boys.
The Reds are 14-2 this year when Griffey hits a home run. Adam Dunn strikes out. Rich Gould with a very proud father right now.
Wow, what a Father's Day, huh? A great Father's Day for the Griffey family. I don't care how many years, Ken, that you've played this game. It is still amazing to watch your son do something like this.
Well, it's amazing, period. I mean, just to think, after all the troubles he's been through the last 3 years, and him to do this is great. It's a great feeling. I knew he'd do it on Father's Day, so I didn't worry about it.
I'll tell you the truth, I was kind of hoping he would, too.
I was really hoping he would.
It's one of these deals. You've been traveling with Ken for a while to see this moment. The entire family's here, right?
Yeah, the entire family's here, so we're just grateful that we get this opportunity, and we feel good about it. And like I said, it's just been great for me, just to get a chance to see him play again.
Talk a little bit about the season that he has had. I mean, you mentioned the injuries. It's been tough over the last couple of years, and then to bounce back and be in contention for the home run lead. He's driving in runs. The ball club's playing great, so it's been a lot of his doing.
It's all pluses for him. So, I mean, he seems to be healthy, and that's the important thing. I think that's what a lot of people have not seen over the last 3 years, is that he's been hurt. And, you know, they've been taking their frustrations out on him. But like I said, if he's healthy, he's still one of the better ball players in this league.
With the thrills that you had playing, I wonder how this ranks of your all-time thrills.
Well, it's right up there to the top of them. I think the top of the list has to be me playing with him.
Yeah.
And then this home run is just great. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, a son can never get too old for a father to have his heart pumping a little bit, can he?
Hey, he had me nervous all week. So I'm just glad it's over and done with. We can go. I get on with my life now, so I got to go work.
Well, Ken, we sure do appreciate the time. Congratulations to you, the Griffey family, and of course to your son on his glorious Father's Day.
Thank you.
Back upstairs, guys.
Thank you, Rich. Very nicely done. Thank you, Mr. Griffey Sr. And where better place, if not Cincinnati, for this to happen, with a lot of red in the stands and the kind and polite and appreciative fans of St. Louis celebrating a great moment. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball low to Willie Mo Pena.
One of the great things about this game is how it can be poetic at times, and I think there's something poetic about Griffey's home run here on Father's Day. And how about the poetry of the ovation that he got here in St. Louis from the team that he's competing against, just appreciating his efforts.
Matt Morris not happy about it, giving up his 23rd home run of the year, second today, most in the major leagues. You know, Griffey is quite a character in the clubhouse. That's a called third strike. We'll talk more about Ken. Had a chance to visit with him for a while this morning. He is a delight off the field. He's amazing on the field, and that is an historical swing for number 500. What a wonderful moment again a second ago. Tell you more about that as Griffey was greeted by his other teammates, the bullpen guys. Bottom of the sixth, Edgar Renteria. Now for the Cardinals, go get 7 runs and win this thing.
Well, they've done it before. They could do it again. They scored 9 in the last couple of innings. But right now, this game belongs to that man, number 30, Ken Griffey Jr., who not only got a great greeting from his bullpen, but also from the fans in the bleachers. Take another look at home run number 500. No doubt about it. And what happens between innings? The bullpen, they didn't get a chance to shake his hand, so they're going to go out and give him not just a glad hand, but they're going to get hugs from every one of the bullpen mates who are excited for Ken Griffey Jr.
First guy there was Tom Hume, the longtime Red and bullpen coach. They recently added Gabe White 2 days ago, so I'm sure he was glad to come back to the ball club and witness that moment. Griffey was watching the U.S. Open on television this morning, and he said out loud for everyone to hear, "I have to be the best putter who's not on the Pro Tour." He has played golf at celebrity events in foursomes with guys like Tiger Woods and Mark O'Meara. He's been to Pebble Beach with those guys. I mean, he plays some serious golf. He's about a 6 handicap. No balls and 2 strikes. And he says he can make a putt from anywhere on any green in America. He's that good.
I think he needs to keep his day job, though, because he's pretty good at that one.
Pretty good. You know, but Griffey, he's a delight around his teammates. Albert's 0 for 1 with a walk today. High and tight to him. I told Ken that last night we were showing numerous shots of his wife and family watching the ball game, but we couldn't find his wife's name in the media guide. So what was her name? He said, "You can call her the boss." But then he said, "It's Melissa." And it was so great to see Melissa and Trey and Taryn, their adopted son Tevin, and of course Ken Sr. What a great moment for their family. And one event linking 2 great baseball cities, St. Louis and Cincinnati. 2-2. Albert pulls it foul. The Reds, a proud franchise. They've been to the World Series 9 times. They've won it 6 times. Their most recent over the Oakland Athletics in 1990. Some tough years in the 90s under Marge Schott's leadership. Carl Lindner is now the CEO. John Allen, the chief operating officer. Albert reaches out and flies one to right for Willie Mo Pena. That'll be the second out. Hardy's hot pitch of the game. Angus beef thick burgers only at Hardy's, and it's Matt Morris to Ken Griffey Jr.
Is there any doubt what our hot pitch of the game is? Home run number 500. Fastball middle in. Didn't get it in enough. And it's history. Junior begins his home run trot to the delight, I would say, of the fans here in St. Louis. I think Junior probably felt like for a while he may be playing a home game. Usually you want to do things like this at home, but I guess doing it in front of the St. Louis crowd is the second best thing.
And in all honesty, a little easier for the Cardinal fans to take. Down 5 runs at the time, rather than maybe a game-tying homer by Griffey or a game winner.
And on a 6-game winning streak.
So the Cardinal fans in a pretty good mood despite what's happened here today. Reds have out-hit the Cardinals 6-2. Scott Rowland has one of the 2 hits, a ground rule double back in the 4th.
The guy who probably has the least good mood about that situation would be the Cardinal starter Matt Morris, who certainly appreciates the cheers that Griffey gets, but kind of a tough thing to be standing on the mound.
Well, you never want to be the guy, right?
You don't want to be the guy, and you don't want to be the guy that all of a sudden turns your fans in a positive direction for somebody on the other team. But you know, history will calm that down for Matt Morris, but certainly right now he can't be real thrilled with his outing, despite the fact that he has 8 strikeouts.
Was it really almost 5 years ago, August 5th of '99, when the last 500th homer to take place in this ballpark flew out of here? Straight away center field.
Well, you don't get a chance to see 500 home runs very often.
You know, at the time, we didn't know that Mark would not make it to 600. We just thought that was another stepping stone,
no doubt,
towards 600 and beyond. Didn't work out that way for Big Mac. We wish the best for Griffey as he progresses forward.
Only 20 people have done it, hit 500 home runs.
Look at Edmonds, tomahawk that ball into the corner. Heading for third is Rowland. Willie Mopena boots it. Now Okendo will, oh my goodness. Already stopping was Rowland, and he would have scored easily had he kept going.
Well, Scott Rowland is normally an excellent base runner. He certainly can't see that Willie Mopena doesn't come up with this ball cleanly in the corner. Jose Okendo doing his best to get Rowland's attention and telling him to go because he sees Pena bobble that ball. Rowland looking to pick up Okendo. He sees him. I just don't think he believed it. I think he believed that there's no way that he could score from first base on a ball hit into the corner. In that case, you just have to trust your coach.
Yeah. Well, the Cards should be on the board. Maybe they still will be. Reggie Sanders, second and third, 2 outs. There is plenty of time, folks, left for the Cardinals in this game. It starts right here. Backdoor breaking ball stays outside.
That probably does not take an RBI away from Jim Edmonds. It probably would have ended up giving Willie Mopena an error for booting the ball around in the outfield, but since Rowland did not score, there's no error on the play.
We talked about this last night. If you're the Reds, even with a 6-run lead, your mind is wandering a bit right now about what might happen this day.
Well, it's certainly in your psyche as Don Gullett comes out to have a conversation with his starter, who is really outperforming expectations, you'd have to say, for Jun-Kun Bong. And he wants to make sure the young pitcher knows that this game's not over yet. You've got to continue to bear down here and throw a shutout.
Pizzas for everybody if the Cardinals do get 7. $1 handmade personal 7-inch pizzas at Casino Queen at the Riverview Grill, noon through dinner tomorrow. Loosest slots just got looser at the official sponsors of the Cardinals, Casino Queen. Cardinal baseball on KPLR TV St. Louis, WB11. Bottom 6, Reds by 6. A Reggie Sanders hit could really put a dent in that. Ball 3. I wonder if Tony La Russa would hit for the left-hander Langford next. Gabe White's the lefty, John Ridling the righty.
Well, Hector Luna, Yadier Molina, and switch hitting Cedeno would be the right-handed choices on the Cardinals bench.
3-0. Inside corner. And Reggie could take another. Although that's not his usual approach. He's in uniform to hack. Always has been. Reds drafted Reggie in 1987. He made it to the big club 4 years later. He would become an all-star player for them.
White and Riedling are loosening in the Reds bullpen.
3-1. Reggie pops it up. Ryan Friel waiting for it. Got a little tricky there at the end. Cardinals strand 2. They've left 6. On an historic day for Griffey, his team leading into the 7th. Cardinal Crew Kids Club features Matt Morris this year. For only $18, over $70 worth of stuff for the kids, like 3 tickets to Cardinal games, free kids meal at Chevy's Fresh Mex, great Cardinal gifts, and more. Visit stlcardinals.com or call the switchboard 421-3060 and then ask for extension, and this is easy to remember, 5678. Cardinals Kids Club. Little guy's got his baseball cards out.
Wonder what a Ken Griffey Jr. card's going for these days. Rookie card.
It just went up in value. Cardinals into their bullpen, Rich Gould.
You bet. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Fast Eddie's Bon Arrows. Kiko Calero comes on for the Cardinals. You know, I talked to Ken Griffey Sr. moments ago. I said, where are you going to celebrate after the game? He said, I'd love to go to Fast Eddie's Bon Air, but we've got kids and they don't let anybody in under 21. But if he could do anything, and this could be true, he'd go have a Big Elwood on a stick or a Fat Eddie burger, 29-cent shrimp, coldest beer in town. It's a great place to celebrate a 500th home run, Father's Day. Anything you want, Alton, Illinois, Fast Eddie's Bon Air. Go there soon.
I always get a little nervous when a professional journalist says could be true. Thanks, Rich. Brandon Larson for the Reds, top of the 7th. Kiko Calero for the Cards. How good has he been lately? And a drive to right center. Uncatchable. Up against the wall on a hop. Reggie Sanders returns it, and the Reds are hitting the ball well today. That's their 7th base hit. Larson had fanned twice against Matt Morris. Matt goes 6, gives up 6. 6 hits as well. He had 7 strikeouts in the game today and walked just 1 batter.
And that is the first time this year that Kiko Calero has given up a hit to the first batter that he's faced. In all 13 of his previous games, he got the leadoff hitter out, which is an important statistic for relievers. That streak needs to be started again.
Jermaine Clark bats for the pitcher here, and I don't think the Cardinals are too upset now about seeing the last of Bong and getting into the Cincinnati bullpen. Jermaine Clark started the ball game last night at second base. He's a 27-year-old infielder who signed with the Reds a minor league contract last December after some time with Seattle, Detroit, the Rangers, and Padres. Jermaine Clark. Best car washes in town, Waterway Gas and Wash, with our out-of-town scoreboard. Quite a pitcher's duel in Houston between Washburn and Miller. Cubs still have their 3-1 lead. I'm going to check on that Cubs score. It's been 3-1 in the 3rd for quite a while. Don't know if they're having any weather up there. Evidently, they're just having a lazy Sunday afternoon. Everybody's moving around real slow.
Strange pitching line for Matt Morris. 6 innings, 6 runs, 6 hits, only 1 walk, although it hurt him, and 8 strikeouts. Victimized again by 2 home runs. He now has lengthened his lead in the National League in that department to 23. Again, not a statistic he's too excited about, but his streak of 3 straight wins in June is in jeopardy unless the Cardinals can put together another comeback like they've done the past couple of days.
2-2 pitch, all locked up is Clark. Got to be strike 3. An update from Houston. The Angels got a run in the top of the 5th. Astros got 2 in the bottom. So it's 2-1 Houston. They're starting to hustle on the scoreboard here now. The Cubs, after 4.5, now lead Oakland 3-1. Top of the order now, Ryan Friel, who's had a good day. Infield hit, a run, a bunt hit, and a stolen base. Jacksonville, Florida kid. 9 years in the minor leagues.
Persistence.
I bet there's a dad smiling somewhere today, thanks to that.
And there's somebody smiling out in the right field bleachers who has a hold of that 500th home run ball.
You know, I think it went into the portal, so there might have been a little scramble out on the concourse for that thing.
It might have landed in somebody's bratwurst out there in the food section.
Well, hopefully they'll be able to locate it, do a little exchange, keep it all friendly, no greed involved.
Nah.
And turn it into a fun day at the ballpark for somebody very fortunate. One on, one out, top of the 7th. Reds on top by 6. Big crowd quiet. Kiko misses up and in, and oh, wait a minute, strike 1.
Wow.
Wow. You know, there's a ceiling to the strike zone. Then there's a roof, and then there's a chimney. I think that one took off the top of the chimney.
I think we had a blink going on there.
Goodness
by Brian Runge. I think he guessed wrong.
That's a strike.
I'll say he's done a nice job behind the plate today. I think he's been very fair, been very good on the corner. We've had a lot of call third strikes today and a lot of check swings, but no one seems to be arguing too vehemently about it. Pitchers have just made some good pitches, and I think Brian Runge's done a very nice job.
3-2 pitch. Well, Kiko gets a break on a 3-0. Comes back for the strikeout. Jolene Feeler saying hi to her Aunt Ruby. She's 88 years old, resides in Jefferson City, and never misses a Cardinal game on television. So there you go, Ruby. Jolene saying hi to you in very artistic fashion. Creative Cardinal fans. 4 generations of Drakes are at the game today. Nolan, age 6, Jeff, age 34, Vince, 58, Bob, age 80. Lots of happy Father's Day wishes going around there with the Drakes all watching the Cardinals today. Very nice. D'Angelo Jimenez now with 2 outs.
4 generations. You think they've got some Cardinal stories to tell? They can go from Shane Dienst to Pujols.
If great-grandfather's 80, he's probably going back into Stan's early years in the 40s. Dizzy Dean, the Gas House Gang, maybe. My dad used to tell me about Dizzy pitching against Carl Hubble up at the old ballpark and some of the great battles they had when the Giants came to town. Breaking ball in there. So good to see Stan today. Stan feels great, looks great. His beloved Lil is battling some arthritis, and if Lil is tuned in today, we want to just tell her how much we love her and how much we miss seeing her down here. Upstairs 2-2. And Stan, a true baseball man, was sitting in the press room eating a pair of hot dogs before the ball game. That stars Stan the man.
He's a traditionalist.
Backdoor breaking ball just stayed out there.
How many career home runs did Stan the man have?
475.
Think you can get him back out there to get another 25 more?
Career .330 batting average, 3,630 hits. I mean, think about that. 3,630 hits. At the time, Stan had the National League record for hits when he retired. Ty Cobb, of course, had more, but he was over in that other league. Stan's 3,000th was an opposite field double at Wrigley Field. Three-two pitch. Locked him up on a breaking ball. Kiko battles back after the leadoff walk. Another scoreless inning for the Cardinal bullpen. Cards are into the Reds bullpen. It's not over yet, but it's getting a little late. Cardinal Trivia brought to you by Schnucks, where shopping is easy. Last Cardinal to be a 20-20 guy. Home runs and stolen bases.
Wow. I know who this was.
You know what? You really like this trivia stuff.
I love this trivia stuff.
You get excited.
I have a wealth of useless information in my head. Trivia is my middle name, Bob.
I thought
it's not Herky Jerky.
I thought it was Herky Jerky Horton, but it's not.
Well, we'll get off Herky Jerky and we'll get to our call to the bullpen. It's brought to you by Seeger Toyota. Recent hailstorms have dimpled many of the cars at Seeger Toyota, so with insurance settlements you could save thousands on a new or used vehicle. Big selections of Camrys, Corollas, 4Runners, every model of Toyota, each with a big hail damage discount. There's never been a better time to save on your new Toyota at Seeger Toyota on Olive, just west of I-270. Left-hander Gabe White, in his third stint as a Cincinnati Red, will be the Reds pitcher here in the bottom of the 7th. He will face Ray Langford, Mike Matheny, and a pinch hitter. He pitched a third of an inning here last night and was not scored upon. Gabe White and Ray Langford.
Third tour duty with the Reds. Diana Richardson, today's merchandise winner in the Hyundai long drive inning sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run this inning, Diana Richardson qualifies for the Hyundai Santa Fe drawing in September. Jim Edmonds, I don't know, it was Albert Pujols in the 7th last night after Edmonds' 6th inning homer. So good luck, Diana Richardson. And for you folks to register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer. Gabe White, the lefty. 24 games with the Yankees this year and pretty high ERA of 8.27. Nobody could figure out how he did what he did in 2000 when he went to the Rockies from Cincinnati and in 67 games had a 2.17 ERA and an 11-2 record as a reliever. Signed him to a nice big contract. The next year he went 1-7, 6.25. Ouch. Southwest Airlines with our out-of-town scoreboard, 60 destinations, 2,800 nonstop flights, and as you saw, the Cubs have added a run. Ray Langford pops it up out behind second. Ryan Friel. Were my eyes deceiving me, or did I see a low-scoring game, 1-0 in Colorado after 4? I'll give it time. Orioles, Rockies.
It's not over yet.
Those St. Louis Browns, who some people call the Baltimore Orioles, will do some hacking at Coors before that one's over.
You want to bet right now that game does not end up 1-0?
I'll take that.
That's a pretty good bet. Luna on deck. Matheny, base hit, left field. Good swing by Mike. Adam Dunn was playing over toward the gap, or that might have made it to the bullpen fence. Who's the last Cardinals 20-20 guy?
Does he have a bobblehead? Nope.
Freddie.
I don't think anybody did that recently. Wow, that would have been my last guess. Fernando Tatis, who I believe is now out of baseball.
Isn't that sad?
Really struggled up in Montreal.
Man, that groin injury that he suffered here.
I believe he had a tryout with Tampa Bay in spring training and was released very early in spring training. He had a lot of tools, a lot of power.
So does Luna. And a big looping swing on a breaking ball, diving into the dirt. 0-2.
I were to tell you that the Redbirds would have 11 strikeouts of Reds batters, only 1 walk, and only give up 7 hits in 7 innings, be pretty excited about that until I told you the score was 6-0 Reds. Shows the importance of the long ball in this game.
Yeah.
Jason LaRue, 3-run home run. Junior with his 500th home run in the 6th inning. And that's been most of the offense.
High and tight to Hector, 2-2.
But we remember how quickly those 5 runs scored in the 4th inning off of Matt Morris. It can happen in this direction too.
Luna gone, 2 down. Hector may need to shorten that 2-strike swing a little bit. Cardinals need base runners, not necessarily a homer at that point.
Can't hit a 6-run homer.
Now back to the top of the order for Tony Womack. He's 0 for 3. Tough matchup for him against Gabe White. It's only the 7th inning, but you're starting to wonder about the Cardinals running out of opportunities, mainly because if Womack doesn't get on here, you've got Renteria, then the big guns coming up. The eyes of D'Angelo Jimenez. Your chances for a big inning diminish greatly by the numbers that remain. So the Cardinals would love Womack on here, take their chances with Renteria. Then you're in business if Pujols ever gets in there in this inning.
Well, the table setters have not gotten the job done this afternoon. 0 for 6, Womack and Renteria, which has forced Albert and Scott Rowland to hit with nobody on base. But if they can come through here, may have a little excitement.
Womack gets jammed and pops it up to left. Right there is Adam Dunn. And that's it for the Birds in the 7th. Casey, Ken Griffey Jr., I bet he gets another nice ovation. And Adam Dunn coming up in the 8th. St. Louis law firm of Gallup, Johnson & Newman reminds you that the copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. Gallup, Johnson & Newman, your business legal team when the game is on the line. Another call to the bullpen. Top of the 8th inning. Tony La Russa will employ his 3rd pitcher of the day. Left-hander, very good left-hander, durable left-hander, Ray King. This call brought to you by Fast Eddie's Bon Air, voted the best bar in America by Maxim Magazine. Right across the bridge, whatever it's called, in Alton, Illinois. Hey, we'd like to say hi to a special family getting together and watching Cardinal baseball at St. John's Hospital today. We wish Martin McManus a very speedy recovery. His family and friends want him to hurry home. Mike, Dad, Mom, Cindy, whole family. They always watch the Cardinals, love them. And our very best goes out to those special folks at St. John's Hospital today. Sean Casey, top 8 for the Reds.
We keep having that call to the bullpen. I wonder when the technology is going to change, where they're going to actually maybe use cell phones or portable phones. I mean, they just got the old-fashioned phone on the hook, man, like the old days.
Well, in a year or two, Rick, it'll be our email to the bullpen brought to you by.
That's right.
Scott Rowland, plenty of time. Casey not that fast. And let's watch Griffey come back again. What a day for Dad and wife Melissa. Trey Taryn and Tev and the kids. Griffey saw the lineup card this morning. First thing he said was, "Oh, I snuck my way back into the lineup today."
Yeah.
And did he? 2 RBIs, sac fly and the solo homer. Back in the 6th inning, leading off.
18 home runs and 52 RBIs, and he snuck his way back in the lineup, huh?
Yeah. His RBI total is 3rd in the league behind Scott Rowland and Vinny Castilla. Boy, great to see him back. After all the injury problems he's had, 10 times on the DL during his career. In 02, the right knee and the right hamstring got him. Last year, the right shoulder and the right ankle. He may want to retire the right side of his body here someday and just let the left side take over.
He always looks like he's in such great shape, too. He's not your prototypical home run hitting body. He's not like McGuire was, and Sosa's even thick. I mean, this is a lean guy who's got a great swing. And he couldn't pull the trigger on that swing, but Cardinal fans once again appreciating Ken Griffey Jr. even on a strikeout.
Bases empty, 2 outs. Andy Van Slyke joins Don Bell. They'll talk about the Griffey historical mark and more on our Pizza Hut postgame show right after the game today on WB11. Ken Griffey Jr.'s favorite St. Louis postgame show, evidently. He didn't miss a word Andy had to say yesterday. Adam Dunn today, 1 for 3 with an RBI single.
Ray is really throwing very hard today. The Cardinal bullpen's been outstanding really all year. Ray with a 1.4 ERA coming in this game. He's got a little extra hop on his fastball. He's had a few extra days off recently, and he's feeling it.
And a bouncer, routine bouncer to the right side. Great Cardinal fan tuned in today, Jim Ashmore. Stand by, Jim. We have a special message for you from your family when we come back to Busch Stadium. Cardinal fans, help send your favorite Redbirds to the All-Star Game. Log on to STLCardinals.com. Cast your vote on the All-Star Game online ballot, where baseball is always on. STLCardinals.com.
The Reds and the Cardinals both with an off day tomorrow, having a lot of calls to the bullpen, and this call is brought to you by Seeger Toyota. Recent hailstorms have dimpled many of the cars at Seeger Toyota, so with insurance settlements you could save thousands on a new or used vehicle. Big selections of Camrys, Corollas, 4Runners, every model of Toyota, each with a big hail damage discount. There's never been a better time to save on your new Toyota at Seeger Toyota on Olive, just west of I-270. John Riedling is the Reds right-hander and the new pitcher. He has been their setup guy for stopper Danny Graves. Has very good numbers on the year, and he will face Renteria, Pujols, and Roll.
Well, got to score now. Edgar 0 for 3 today. 0 for 4 today. Carrying the bat handle still. Got a great email from Marcia Williams. Her father, Jim Ashmore, never misses a game, radio or television, from his chair, his bed. And the Cardinals a big part of his life this year. So his kids, Marcia, Dave, and Karen, want to wish him a very happy Father's Day. He's tuned in today. And Marcia said that's the best gift we could give to him. And Rick and I are right behind you, Marcia.
You bet.
Happy Father's Day, Jim Ashmore. We're pulling for you, buddy. And wish you nothing but the very best. That's the kind of note a daughter gets for her dad on Father's Day. Low and away, Albert Pujols 0 for 2 with a walk.
Better than a striped tie right there, isn't it?
You're right. You know, golf and fishing equipment always registers
that works.
nicely.
Sure. I could use some new golf balls if my kids are listening.
Lost a few, have you?
Yeah. I told you I enjoyed the day out with my son the other day, but I lost about 14.
Well, you know what Leslie Nielsen said on his golf video. They're not lost, they're just missing.
That's true. They know where they are.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Albert. Cardinals down 6-0 in the 8th. Reds pitching outstanding today. Jun-Kun Bong, no runs on 3 hits through 6. Gabe White a scoreless 7th. And now John Reeling is retired. Edgar Renteria leading off the 8th.
And if you are wondering, the answer to the questions, have the Cardinals been shut out this season? The answer to that question is yes, just once. And that was early in May. Tomo Oka and Rocky Biddle combined on a shutout up in Montreal.
Tuesday, Jason Marquis, Greg Maddux. Wednesday, Jeff Suppan, Glendon Rush. Thursday, Chris Carpenter, Matt Clement. Cardinals avoiding some pretty big arms of the Cubs in that series.
You can't avoid all of them, though.
No. You can only hope to contain them. Hey, don't forget about Bob Gibson bobblehead day. A lot of folks taking home a wonderful souvenir from today. 34,000 tickets have already been sold for Monday, July 5th. Reds are here. We'll televise that day. First 30,000 fans get a Bob Gibson bobblehead commemorating the '64 World Series championship on the 40th anniversary. Albert lines it, and tough luck right at Larson.
Now, I know the Lou Brock bobblehead had a smile. I wonder if the Bob Gibson bobblehead will have a scowl.
Well, it's guaranteed to brush you back as soon as you put it on the dresser. Cardinal Baseball, a production of Bud Sports and an exclusive presentation of WB11. All you kids, when you get your Bob Gibson bobblehead, don't dare hit a home run out on the playground and then come inside to look at that thing. You'll get knocked down. Up the middle from Roland. That might have been a busted bat. Nifty play by Jimenez. Cardinals go quickly in the 8th. 9th inning coming up. Ken Griffey Jr., couple of RBIs. Homer number 500. Reds by 6. Card fans, have you heard about the MasterCard Grand Slam ticket pack every Tuesday and Thursday? At home? What a deal. 4 Terrace Reserve tickets, 4 Hunter hot dogs, 4 Cokes, 4 Cardinal floppy caps, a $140 value, and it costs just $60. All for good any Tuesday and Thursday, and that includes when the Cubs and Astros are here. Call 421-2400, the Cardinal charge line, or visit stlcardinals.com. Cal Eldred will get an inning of work here.
Had a nice outing his last time out against Oakland. He pitched 2 scoreless innings on Thursday night. And he also blanked Chicago 3 innings of work on the 8th of June. He's had a much better June, had a rough first couple of weeks of the season. He's been trying to get that ERA down ever since. But the Cardinal bullpen has been very good from top to bottom.
Astros got a run in the 6th. They lead 3-1 over the Angels. And now they just put a 0 on the board for Anaheim in the 7th. Cubs still on top, 4-1 there in the 8th inning at Wrigley over Oakland. The Oakland Athletics, 1 week ago at this time, the highest flying team in baseball with an 8-game winning streak, and they have found life to be rather miserable in National League ballparks.
They are now playing we ran out of money ball.
2 balls and no strikes.
I guess that would be broke ball.
That ball slamming off the mask of Matheny. Billy Beane, the mastermind of that. If you haven't read that book, it's a very interesting one. You may not agree with all of it, some of it, a bit of it, but it's interesting baseball reading nonetheless on how teams go after players and what criteria they use to draft certain guys. Albert's got room. Jason LaRue retired for the first out, top of the 9th.
Tell you one thing about Billy Beane. He was a phenomenal prospect.
Oh, he was supposed to be a superstar.
He was in the same outfield with Terry Blocker and Darryl Strawberry in Double-A with the Jackson Mets when I was a Arkansas Traveler, and the Mets were one of our arch rivals. They had quite a team, but Billy Beane might have been the best player on that team at that time.
Yeah, he was a can't miss who missed. Willie Mo Pena, and Eldred throws it by him. Well, don't forget, folks, there are still some tickets left for the Cubs series. Over 40,000 sold for Tuesday night. Close to 40 sold for Wednesday. There are some 1,500 Upper Terrace Reserve tickets available as of first pitch today for Thursday night. Cardinal tickets, we tell you about the charge line and on the internet. Also clubhouse stores at Union Station and the Galleria, Schnucks video clubs, and of course the ticket office right here at Busch Stadium. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Willie Moe. Two outs. Cardinal bullpen trying to work its 3rd consecutive scoreless inning.
And that would be strikeout number 13 on the afternoon for the Reds.
Southwest Airlines brings you the out-of-town scoreboard right now. Happy 90th birthday to Margaret Schmallinger of Greenville, Illinois. She's listening today. 90 years young. Way to go, Margaret. And whoever sent us the note says you're one of the greatest Cardinal fans of all time. We're buying it. Many happy returns. Brandon Larson 1 for 3 with a double today.
And by the way, that Colorado game is still 1-0 now in the 7th inning.
You owe me.
You didn't bet. You didn't want any part of it.
I know. Our producer Mike Helling, who worked in Colorado a number of years, stunned at the news.
Yeah, Mike used to work a lot of those 5.5-hour games, 14-13. You think it's over, but it's not.
Be a heck of a job if you were paid by the hour. Cardinals in the 9th will have Edmonds, Sanders, and Langford. It'll take a miracle. Down by 6. Two of the clubs right behind the Cardinals ahead in their games. Milwaukee trailing.
There is some precedent for Cardinal comebacks against the Cincinnati Reds. I can't remember what time of year it was last year where the Cardinals had that huge outburst. I believe they scored 8 or 9 runs. What I remember about that is I was watching the game on a treadmill and I was going to run till the end of the game, and I ran a lot more than I thought. Ended up running for about 50 minutes and was treated to a Cardinal victory, and I almost got in shape.
You look very nice.
Well, thanks, Bob.
3-2 pitch. And a little chopper out to short. Edgar has to wait for that hop. Quick release and a 1-2-3. Great work. Calero, King, and Eldred. 3 scoreless innings from the Cardinal bullpen. Redbirds down by 6, bottom of the 9th. Cardinal baseball on WB11, brought to you today by Anheuser-Busch. Saluting America's responsible drivers. Responsibility matters. By your local quality Ford dealers on both sides of the river. And by Southwest Airlines, nonstop service, 59 destinations all across the country. Southwest, a symbol of freedom. Steak and Shake, real steak burgers, real milk milkshakes 24 hours a day. And by your local Jeep dealers. Former Cardinal Mike Matthews will take the mound, victimized by the Albert Pujols home run here Friday.
He was recalled after having a nice season in Louisville. He had a nice first month of the season and is recalled when the Reds released Jimmy Haynes, one of their high money prospects. Never quite put it together, and they decided to bite that bullet, and they brought Mike up, and he retires Jim Edmonds for the first out in the 9th.
And why don't the Cardinals just hit all 3 balls to Griffey and let him walk off with the game ball? Reggie Sanders and Ray Langford next. Tough to take a 6-0 loss at home when you've won 6 in a row. But I think all of our fans appreciate what this day has brought us. A glimpse of baseball history. 20th man to hit number 500. In a wonderful comeback season by Griffey.
Well, when it's all said and done, the history part of baseball is such a big deal, Bob. You think back and you say, I remember where I was when McGuire hit his 70th, when the Cardinals clinched the pennant, when I saw this home run, that home run, and this will be one of those days, one of those Father's Days to remember. for a lot of dads here who may have gotten Cardinal tickets along with their tie or their hedge clippers like you got. And it'll be a day that they'll never forget spending it with their son.
Bring her back to the ballpark, Dad. You'll get a W next time. I remember where I was when Rick Horton pitched a 2-hitter in 1984 in San Diego.
That's one of those days I remember. Not exactly Cardinal history, but personal history.
3-0 to Reggie, who has walked once, 0 for 2 today. 3-0, he's hacking. High in the air, right center. Griffey might catch all three. Play of the game brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Rick, do you have any idea what our play of the game would be today?
Well, I'm thinking maybe it was a pop out in the second inning, or it's Griffey's 500. A lot of drama. The Reds' 6th, Griffey's home run, number 500, is 19th of the year, receiving congratulations from all of his teammates, ultimately from his teammates in the bullpen and the Cardinal fans in the bleachers and all of baseball.
Ray goes up hacking.
Probably had time to think about what all his responses are going to be when people hound him after the game. What was the pitch? He may not remember, it was so long ago.
Yeah.
What was the pitch? What's it feel like? Are you happy it's over? How many are you going to hit?
Are you really that good of a putter?
Yeah.
Bragging about his golf game before the game. Hey, you know what? Maybe that tells you he was relaxed.
He was loose.
You know, not obsessed with this whole thing, thinking about other fun things. And he goes out and gets his job done today with a homer, a couple of RBIs.
His mark on baseball will not only be the statistics that he puts up, it'll be the boyish attitude that he's always brought to this game, the hat on backwards, particularly at a time where baseball was really struggling in the mid-90s for a lot of labor-related reasons. He was the one bright spot that people just really liked about the game of baseball, was this kid playing and doing so well.
Well said. Game over. 2 hours and 33 minutes and a little bit of history right in the middle of it. Top of the 6th inning, number 500 for Ken Griffey Jr. Good for him. And he did it on the day his team won a very important game against a divisional first place team. Reds salvage a game, break the Cardinals' 6-game losing streak, Rick, and it was Cincinnati all the way on this day.
Very poetic day, Father's Day, great celebration day for the Griffey family. Cardinals managed to strike out a lot of Reds, but 2 home runs from Matt Morris, 1 by Jason LaRue, and this home run, historic home run by Ken Griffey, were the story. Not enough offense from the Cardinals, but a lot of excitement at Busch Stadium.
That's Rick Horton. I'm Bob Carpenter. Ken Griffey Jr. makes history as the Reds beat the Redbirds 6-0. Next Cardinal telecast Tuesday night, Fox Sports Net. Cubs will be in town. This copyrighted telecast and exclusive presentation WB11 in association with Bud Sports.